There's no doubt we're getting some fundamental news that's changing the crypto space as we know it. We're about to hit a new bull run. We need a catalyst. And we've got Trump coming out saying he's not going to take your Bitcoin. He's not going to create a central bank digital currency. That's about as positive as it gets. Apologies for the impression. And let's dive into Algorand to see what kind of impact that the markets are having on Algorand and what the drop in Bitcoin dominance could potentially mean.
I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
And isn't it funny when Trump comes out and tells you that news, he's not going to take your Bitcoin, he's not going to let Elizabeth Warren and her cronies create that central bank digital currency, coincides with charts telling us a story as well. We can start with the Bitcoin dominance because there's a story that the Bitcoin dominance is telling us. It's been in this ascendant channel for a month and a half. Hasn't broken to the upside, hasn't broken to the downside until now. We've not only broken, we've been monitoring this and we've been tracking it for the last few weeks. We've been saying this is the drop that we need and we've dropped trend. We've come back down. We've got a nice red candle today and we need to take out this previous low, and an acceleration to the downside will be the start of that alt season. There's a high probability that that's going to create the alt season, a big surge to the downside. So we've got the positive news from Trump. We've got the dominance that's dropping. How does that impact the rest of the crypto market? Because we know that when dominance drops, people are coming out of on-risk assets. The least on-risk asset in cryptocurrency is, of course, the big daddy, Bitcoin. So when people are coming out of Bitcoin, then that's showing that there's strength in the market. People are going more on risk into more high risk altcoins. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is Algorand. So we've got Algorand, that's creating a pattern of its own. So we've got the Bitcoin dominance dropping in the ascending channel. That's bearish. That's what we want in the short term. Now we're looking for a bullish pattern on the Algorand chart. And this is one of the most bullish patterns that you see as a bottoming pattern. It's the inverse head and shoulders. Let me just show you this. If we zoom out onto the weekly chart, and then we'll follow this inverse head and shoulders together. So here we are on the weekly chart now, and you can see a little bit more clearly. What we're going to do is we're going to draw this on with our head and shoulders tool, and then we're going to measure projections to the upside. There's two ways you can take this trade, and I'm going to show you. So we've got the head and shoulders tool on there. There we go. The first one is creating that left shoulder. We're bringing that up to the neckline. We've created a neckline. We're going all the way down to the tip of the head, down here, tip of the head, and then we're going back up to the neckline, and then we're starting to create the right shoulder. Now, there's two ways you can play this. Ultimately, what we're going for is a break of the right shoulder, but you can also just add in a simple trend line there. And if you want to take the right shoulder, take the break of the right shoulder, you can wait for the break, potential retest, all the way up to the neckline, and you can hold that, stops below the low. What happens if it reverses, comes back down, and then goes back to test the head? That invalidates the head and shoulders. It's important that we create this higher low. The higher low creates the right shoulder. So if you're taking the right shoulder, you wait for the break, you've got your stops underneath here, that's your protections, and then you've either got targets at the neckline if it's an in and out trade, or we can look for projections to the upside. So how do you measure projections to the upside on an inverse head and shoulders? Simple trend line from its neckline to the tip of the head, and then you can measure projections going forward. Is there any confluence at this level where we'd expect a sticking point? We just stick a trend line at our targets. Our targets are up here. You can see that there's a sticking point here. If we zoom out zoom back into the daily, you can see exactly. There's the sticking point. That's where our targets are. The targets are sat at 57 cents, 57.5 cents if we break the neckline. So those are two things that you can do to trade those. You can trade the right shoulder, you can trade the break of the neckline. You've got your projections from the tip of the head to the neckline on the way up to the upside, and then you can see that we've got our targets set up here. So if you did enjoy this video, guys, if you think that things are changing in the crypto market, let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next, and I'll see you in the next one.